A very good day to PT Datacomm and Prof. Low. We are Team 4 and today we will be sharing with you our employee branding presentation tackling millennial talent engagement in Datacomm. So giving a brief overview of the contents we are going to cover today, we will start with a short introduction looking into the company's mission and vision, followed by analysing the current climate and challenges faced as we address the problem statement. We will then go through the methods used to gather the necessary data, our key findings, followed by our recommendations to tackle them. PT Datacomm is an IT service provider which provides its expertise to many areas in the industry. It looks to become the leading network technology service provider by accelerating ICT adoption. It also looks to become one of the most admired IT companies, but to do that, it will have to look within. So looking at the current climate, COVID has devastated many contact-intensive industries, but even with spending declining in 2020, it presented many new opportunities in mobility and cloud technologies benefiting companies like Datacomm. The ICT sector is also expected to grow by 9.1 and 10.1%, leading growth in Indonesia in 2021 and 2022. So with the positive outlook in industry trends, what then is the problem Datacomm is facing? Well, the cause of concern is in millennials like myself. According to Indonesian Research Institute in 2020, 35% of the workforce consisted of millennials, with almost 80% of Datacomm's employees falling within this age range. Firstly, millennials as a generation have the tendency to job hop to seek new challenges and experiences. This might be due to low engagement rates of millennials as uncovered by research from Dale Carnegie Indonesia, which also explains the high turnover rates seen in all industries. So, with the disposition for millennials to job hop and the competitive ICT sector, competition for millennial employees is at an all-time high and is a problem Datacomm is facing with high turnover rates as employees find more attractive options elsewhere. This is further compounded with the project nature of Datacomm's hiring processes with short contracts lasting only 1 to 2 years. How then do we tackle millennial engagement to foster a more attractive and understanding environment for improved employee retention? To do that, we will be evaluating Datacomm's employer branding using the 5 dimensions framework, but we will not focus on compensation and benefits as Herzberg's 2-factor theory states that these factors prove little to increase job satisfaction and increase motivation. To best understand employee sentiment on current engagement efforts, identify key areas of focus, and gather feedback on suggested recommendations, we conducted primary and secondary research. Primary research included the use of two-way communication channels set up by Prof. Low and Ms. Ajing, in-depth interviews with 5 Datacomm employees, and an employee sentiment survey with 32 employees. This is supplemented with our secondary research, which included information from academic and business reports and online articles, which inform our hunches and support our recommendations suggested.
Now, let's delve deeper into some of the key findings we have gathered. For a brief background, we have interviewed a total of 5 interviewees for various departments, age range between 23 to 56 years old, with 2 to 5 years of experience in Datacomm. To maintain confidentiality, we'll be labeling them as interviewees 1 to 5 respectively. So the first key issue we have identified in Datacomm is a lack of clarity in career progression and opportunities. It was found that Datacomm tends to hire employees on a project-by-project basis, where employees were made to leave upon project completion. This also constitutes the high turnover as of date for the IT Infrastructure and Technology Services Department. We also found a collective response from 3 interviewees that people that they know of who left Datacomm were offered better positions in another company. There is also ambiguity in career advancement. Respondents' data showed an average score of 2.91 and 2.78 out of 4 respectively when asked about the extent to which their bosses explained to them about their potential for career advancement as well as their confidence in it. Interview 1 also talked about how there was ambiguity in whether he could go up in ranks from his current position. With that, we feel that Datacomm should start establishing career roadmaps for their employees. We also learned that Datacomm did not have frequent performance reviews, which was evident from a survey where 40.63% of the respondents stated that performance reviews were done annually. However, research has shown that millennial workers want more than a single intensive annual review. This is further substantiated by our survey, where 31.25% of our respondents felt that the ideal frequency of performance reviews should be conducted monthly, or at least quarterly. Hence, there's a need for Datacomm to hold more frequent performance reviews and to clearly communicate expectations to their employees. Survey respondents also suggest that they do not receive sufficient guidance and support in Datacomm, with only a mean score of 2.75 out of 4. 59.13% of respondents state that they do not have a mentor, and another 72.75% wanting a mentor to guide them in their job. To curb this, Datacomm should implement more mentorship programs. That being said, the theory of social-emotional selectivity suggests that older people have differing motivations from that of millennials. Hence, Datacomm should also explore and implement mentoring programs that can help to bridge the generational differences between these two. Finally, there's a lack of variation in job scope in Datacomm. Work challenge was ranked the lowest among the 6 listed factors of work environment. This can be an issue, especially when millennials tend to become bored at work twice as fast as other generations. Since millennials find changing their jobs the solution to curb their dissatisfaction, Datacom should implement job design strategies, which is supported by a majority of 65.63% of the respondents finding job rotation to be a source of motivation at work. Among them, 95.23% are between 21 to 40 years old, and majority have been with the firm for a short period of 36 months. Ultimately, we find an optimal solution would be to leverage on job design as a motivator.
The following 3 recommendations focus on the areas of non-monetary benefits to increase the motivation and employee engagement. The team will not explore the areas of salary and compensation, as they are considered hygiene factors which, when done well, only decreases dissatisfaction. Since Datacom employees have been experiencing uncertainty in their career progression, the organization can create a career roadmap. This will mark out the personalized path for the individual employees and also the professional paths for typical roles in each department. This is crucial in addressing the concern with regards to millennials, where job hopping is a norm to advance their careers. About 94% of the respondents state that they will be motivated if they know their career roadmap. The company can explore these factors when formulating a career roadmap, such as what are the possible positions and opportunities available? Is advancement across departments possible? What are the qualifications, performance grades, and experience required? And finally, communicating all these factors to the employees. Datacomm should also explore possible career paths for employees hired on project basis, and offer them an opportunity for conversion if the employee can meet certain requirements. Internal hiring is always valuable as the employee has already assimilated with the company's culture and their capabilities are also proven in their previous work. The lack of clear career progression may also be attributed to the ineffective internal communication. There may be exciting opportunities for the employees, but they are simply unaware of it. One common way to properly communicate expectations will be the use of goal-setting theory. According to this theory, they must consist of the following 4 factors to motivate the employees. The next recommendation is the mentorship program. Survey respondents gave a score of 2.7 out of 4 when asked if they received enough guidance and support in Datacomm. This suggests that more can be done to provide help and support for the employees. One interviewee also mentioned that aside from professional certification, there are limited resources to learn and refine one's skill. Only top performers in the organizations are selected and have the opportunity to attend upskilling courses. However, training courses for every employee may be too resource intensive. Datacom can use a formal mentorship program to encourage knowledge sharing. Formal mentorship in an organization typically involves a relationship whereby the mentor share their experiences and expertise with the mentee and guide them in their career and personal growth. Datacom employees are also welcoming of the idea of mentorship, with a resounding 97% agreeing that it will help in their career. The first type of mentorship Datacom can implement is the traditional mentorship. To implement, the HR department can follow the 6 simple steps to set up the program. It begins with defining goals, objectives, and process, gathering the names of interested parties, then matching them according to their attributes and interests. Finally, organize a blind date for themselves to decide if they are comfortable with each other. Most importantly, HR department should provide necessary mentorship training to help both parties understand the process.
Through the reverse mentorship program, it will benefit both senior and junior level employee with an inclusive mentoring culture which encourages multi-generation collaboration. Another alternative form of mentorship is group mentorship, where several mentees are assigned to one or more mentors. This way, individuals not only receive feedback from the mentor, but also the support of mentees in the group. Through a group mentorship program, it will meet millennials' need for peer-to-peer learning and collaboration, which will help increase employee satisfaction, engagement, and retention. The last recommendation our team has is for Datacom to use job design as a motivator to curb the issues regarding lack of variation in job scope discussed earlier in their findings. Job design refers to the structure, content, and configuration of a person's work, tasks, and roles to maximize intrinsic motivation. There are generally 4 job design methods, and for the purpose of Datacom, the group suggests going with job rotation as it is better suited based on primary research feedbacks. So what's job rotation? Job rotation involves rotating employees to different tasks and jobs in an organization. Through the rotation, employees are expected to gain new expertise and skills, resulting in an increase in intrinsic motivation and retention of talent in Datacom. The questions here then would be, how does job rotation increases intrinsic motivation? To answer the question, the group has used the job characteristic model by Heckman and Ohem to see the link on how job rotation increases intrinsic motivation. Job rotation can be translated to skill variety as employees are exposed to different departments and functions. This would result the employee to be in a psychological state of experiencing meaningfulness of their work, especially since it is something they want. The outcome of this is basically higher motivation, satisfaction, and effectiveness of the employee. Furthermore, according to the model, an overall measure of the motivating potential of a job can be calculated by the formula shown. This shows that the increase in skill variety would definitely help in increasing motivation. So how can we then implement job rotation in Datacom? The first method would be for Datacom to consider implementing a non-traditional rotation program for existing employees within the company. Instead of rotating through different departments or functions, employees can express interest in a specific function or department, and depending on operational requirements, they can be transferred there. Of course, the traditional Management Associate Program (MAP) should not be disregarded. A typical MAP program lasts for 12 to 24 months and is usually targeted at fresh graduates or individuals with relatively young working experience. Candidates are selected based on their potentials and are groomed for leadership roles within the organization in the future. These two suggested methods to implement job rotation within Datacom would certainly deal with the issues regarding lack of variation within the company, and if done properly, it would help increase the intrinsic motivation of existing employees within the organization. We hope these recommendations tackle the key issues identified and foster an attractive and understanding environment to increase employees' retention rate in Datacom. Thank you.